Hey! Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, talking about Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And today we're talking about transportation, as we don't have any currently. Well, I guess we've got the boat, but we're more specifically talking about the Minicopter, the horse, and modular vehicles, and what we know so far about transportation for Rust Console Edition. So check this out. I'm going to break my meat sticks here. So what about this? Cars before minis? Question mark? For Rust Console Edition? Yeah, so what's up with that? So over on the Discord, Jay's nice enough to answer some questions. So check this out. So we heard, well, over here, Connor says, will Junkyard ever be coming back to the game? And Jay says, it should be. I'll get that chased up. So the fact that there's something going on around Mr. Junkyard is quite fascinating, because Junkyard has been a support piece for vehicles for a little bit now. There were two versions of this, actually. There was one which was much larger, which is the one we could very well see in the console edition. I actually did a video on it, the old school Junkyard. I will go ahead and link the Junkyard video now in the upper right hand corner. If you want to go check that out, maybe get an idea of what's coming in. We did like a monument run through for that particular one. But this one is the cut down version. But the reason why this is such a big deal is A, the footprint got a lot smaller, but also this was added. You're like, okay, so what? What's that even do? Well, that's a lift. That's a modular vehicle lift. And that's pertinent because that's how you swap things in and out on the vehicles, whether they be campers, the armored pieces, whatever. These are basically, I mean, exactly what the name says. They're modular vehicles. You can swap parts in and out. You can make your own hoopty. There's different size frames. It's really cool. Runs on low grade. You can make keys for the car, locking your vehicle. I don't think I need to tell you too much, but transportation is so key, whether you're using horses, helicopters, modular vehicles. It helps solos, it helps large groups. It's a key piece if you're doing trading, mining, raiding, you know, all that stuff. You know, like if you're doing outpost runs for stone to wood, you know what I'm talking about. So transportation is a big deal. So I thought this was interesting. We do know that we are going to get, as far as mode of transportation, is definitely going to be the horses first. But the next thing that was kind of up in the air was minis and or vehicles, but things are kind of pointing towards modular vehicles, A, because of this, and B, if you can recall, hopefully Power Surge comes sometime in March for us on, what is it, PTB, which is Public Testing Branch. If that is the next thing, the electricity that's going to come through, that would make sense, because none of this will work unless you have power that runs to the actual lift itself. So if we had electricity first, it would make sense that if it does work correctly, we could see modular vehicles before the Mini. And you might be like, how do you know that, Jade? How do you know? Well, check this out. Well, there's two pieces up here. This guy's name is so funny. Okay, so the guy, Glizzy, says, do you guys work on Minicopter or horses? And Jay, again, was nice enough to answer. He says, Minicopter, no, but horses have been worked on, and we do know that's the most likely candidate for transportation first. Hey, we'll take whatever we can get. But check this out. So as far as Minicopters are concerned, you know, we're supporting a lot of different versions here. Core systems, Pro systems, and next gens. For PlayStation and Xbox, you know, performance has been an issue, but I thought this was interesting too. And again, Glizzy with the clutch question. He's basically, I'll break down the question. He says, you know, what about Minicopters? It would be cool to take oil rig. As you know, that's slated to come in here at the end of February 2022. Fingers crossed, right? What would that be, February 24th? But anyways, Jay, again, nice enough to answer. He says, it's not being worked on at this time. The main problem with them relate to the performance concerns, and this is talking about minis. Flying across the map requires lots of stuff to load and unload. So, as you know, this is a pretty resource-intensive task anyway. So let me see if I can just fire this bad boy up. Did I even put fuel in there? The thing with this is you're going to be loading and unloading a lot of bases. Your vantage point is going to be extremely high, and so your render range is going to be pretty far, and you're going to be rendering most things in that area. You know, I'll pull up here. We'll probably crash land, but you can already see, look at that. I mean, you know, bases in the area. So it makes sense why this one was put on hold. Doesn't mean it's not going to come in. Just know that they have worked on it. I'm going to use my admin stuff, and now I'm going to float. Yeah, see, I didn't fall at all. I'm so good at adminning. Anyways, so I can see why that one was held, but it was interesting to see that they actually did work on it. So the next logical item is, if we know it's horses, well, if Junkyard's going to sneak in and we do have Power Surge, Modular Vehicles does make sense. And check this out, and I know you guys have already seen this, but it's worth mentioning. We've now had, for a period of time, these ramps here, and they're not just for cool, additional pieces for your base itself, but these are specifically designed for Modular Vehicles. And, it kind of makes sense. We'll have to see how Power Surge gets slated in after Oil Rig does, and I think it's just small Oil Rig, but things are kind of looking in that direction. I didn't think we'd see Modular Vehicles that quickly, but kind of seeing some of these pieces of the puzzle, it does make sense now that some of those would maybe come in first if things go as planned. Again, any of this can change because it's always about performance, memory, and how much the lowest common denominator, the core systems, can handle. At this point, so fingers crossed. Hopefully that's what we see. Like I said earlier, we'll take any form of transportation at this point. Our maps are getting big enough. It would help solo players tremendously. It would help larger groups with trading, going to the Outpost, bandit runs, raiding, mining. I mean, all that stuff I mentioned earlier. I mean, it's so true. Like I said, I'll take anything, man. I'll take anything. So again, if you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It does help out a lot. And if you're into it, consider dropping that subscribe and turning on that notification bell, as you will be kept up to date on live streams and pieces of information like this, news, and other updates and guides. So yeah, hopefully we see you guys in the next video / update. All right, bye! Or I should say live stream.